Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to our first ever Wild Rift video on this channel. My name is Stuart and I'll be bringing you weekly videos on this channel, champion guides, tips and tricks and so much more, so make sure you stay tuned. Just to quickly let you all know that XL are giving away a free Wild Rift skin. All you have to do is like the video, comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll pick a winner at the start of the next Wild Rift video. Now, let's get on to the video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at everything you need to know before you jump into your first game of Wild Rift. We understand that some of you have not played the PC League of Legends version before. Even if you have, there are some differences that you need to know before you jump into your first game of Wild Rift. Now firstly, let's start off right at the beginning. What is Wild Rift? Wild Rift is a fast-paced, team-based MOBA where two teams of 5 fight against one another to try and win the game. But how do you win the game, you're probably asking? It's pretty simple. You have to destroy the enemy nexus before they destroy yours. But it's what you do during the game which is what makes Wild Rift so fun and rewarding. Killing the enemies, leveling up, making them flashy 1 versus 5 outplays and carrying your team to victory. Every game is different, with over 60 different champions in the game for you to choose from, all having their own unique playstyle and abilities. There are a number of different ways in which you can play the game. Now, when you jump into your first game of Wild Rift, everyone starts at the spawning platform, also known as the Fountain. The Fountain is the safest place in the whole of Wild Rift map. So if you feel like you're in danger, if you're low on health, then make sure you recall, you go back to the Fountain and you heal up as much as you can. Now, the spawning platform is also the place where you can buy and sell items. So if you have a lot of money, you can go back to the spawning platform, click on your shop and you'll be able to buy items which will improve your attributes and help you win the game. Now, just in front of the spawning platform, we have the Nexus. This is the main crystal. This is the main part of the base which you need to destroy on the enemy team to be able to get to your victory. Now, the other important thing to note about the Nexus is this is where minions spawn. Now, there's 4 different types of minions in the game. You have the melee minions, you have the caster minions, you have the siege minions, and you have the super minions. Now, minions spawn in 3 lanes in Wild Rift. The solo lane, also known as the Baron lane, the middle lane, and the duo lane. Once spawned, the minions then push forward following their lane until they encounter an enemy, which they will attack the first enemy in their sight, whether that be a champion, another minion, or an enemy tower. Melee minions are always at the front line. They have smaller attack range, but they also have a bit more health. You have the caster minions, which have a larger attack range, but have a lower health, but can deal a little bit more damage. You have the siege minions, which spawn after a certain period of time, and don't spawn every wave. They only spawn after a few waves. They have the large attack range, they have a high health. These minions are powerful pushing units that can help you push down the lane to destroy the structures. And lastly, we have the super minions. The super minions are the ones that only spawn once the enemy's inhibitor turret is destroyed. Super minions have much higher health and attack damage. Once you take down the enemy's inhibitor turret, these super minions will spawn every single wave and will help you a lot when pushing down the enemy nexus. In Wild Rift, there are 5 different roles you can play on your team. You can play as the solo lane, also known as the Baron lane. You can play in the jungle, you can play in the middle lane, or you can play in the duo lane, which has 2 players in there. You've got the marksman and you have the support. When playing in the Baron lane, you typically want to play champions that are either a fighter or a tank. These champions are both durable and can do a bit of damage, but mainly are the tank. They're the front line of your team. The main role is to be at the front and to protect your team from the main carries of the enemy team. In the mid lane, you mainly want to play champions that are mages. Mages mainly do a lot of magic damage and use their abilities to do a lot of damage within a short amount of time. However, you can also play assassins in the mid lane as well. These are very high mobile and have a lot of outplay potential. You can normally dash in, dash out of fights, and you can try and get them flashy 1 versus 5 outplays. The Dragon lane, also known as the attack damage carry or ADC for short, has the most consistent damage of the whole team. They focus on their auto attacks to deal a lot of damage to the enemy team. Now, when playing Dragon Lane champions, you have to be very careful because your very fragile. You die very quickly. That's why most of the time you have a support next to you. The main role of the support is to protect your team from the enemy team. There are two different types of champions in the support role. You have the enchanter supports that use their heals and their shields to keep your team alive. Or you have the tanky supports, which mainly go in for engagers. They're the front line and they'll be able to use their immobilized crowd control to be able to make the difference in team fights. And then last but by no means least is the jungle. Now the jungle is a bit different to the other roles. They don't actually go into a lane. They actually go to the jungle. The jungle is what's in between all the lanes and what kind of brings the map all together. Junglers farm the neutral monsters in the jungle and they look for ganks to get an advantage for their team. There are many different champions you can play in the jungle. You can play some assassin jungles that use their early pressure to get some early ganks off and to get some nice advantages. Or you can play a more tanky teamfight jungler, which mainly used to farm up the jungle until they get to their ultimate ability and make a difference in the team fights to carry the team. Now let's talk about abilities. Every champion has 5 unique abilities available to them. 1 passive ability, 3 basic abilities, and 1 ultimate ability. Your passive ability is an effect that is applied as part of an action and is available throughout the whole game. This could mean once you attack a champion 4 or 5 times, your next basic attack does more damage, or if you hit an ability, you gain extra attack speeds. As for your basic abilities and your ultimate, these are buttons on your screen that you press, you aim, and you level them up throughout the game to make them stronger. At the start of every game, you start at level 1, meaning you have a choice on what basic ability you would like to level up first. As you gain experience throughout the game, you will be able to use 1 skill point every level to learn a new skill or level up one that you already have. In Wild Rift, the maximum level is level 15. Meaning that you only have 4 points available in each ability. So once you put 4 points into one ability, you can't make that ability stronger or you can't level it up anymore. Just a quick tip at the start of the game, once you hit level 3, it's always best to learn your 3 basic abilities first, instead of leveling up one of your abilities twice and then learning another ability. Leveling up abilities make them stronger, meaning they could get more powerful, have less cooldown, or the crowd control that they offer can be for a longer amount of time. Your ultimate ability is your most powerful ability and it can only be unlocked at level 5. This ability has the most impact and can be game changing. Once you have the ability unlocked at level 5, you can only level that ultimate ability again at level 9 and at level 13. So make sure you keep that in mind when playing Wild Rift and make sure you always level up your ultimate when available. So to wrap things up, when you start a Wild Rift, you're going to pick a role that suits your playstyle. They're going to pick a champion, and then everyone on your team will then pick a champion, and the same on the enemy team. When you jump into the game, you'll then buy your first item, level up your first ability, and walk into the lane or jungle to start earning gold and experience. Then you'll use your gold and experience to buy items, kill epic monsters, kill the enemies, and destroy the enemy structures until you get to the enemy nexus to win the game. And that's it. That is everything you need to know before you get into your first game of Wild Rift. I tried to keep this as simple as possible for people that are just coming over from maybe PC League of Legends or are completely brand new to the game. I'll go into more details in a new video, maybe talking about neutral monsters, talking about items more in depth, and talking about more abilities and more champions. If there's a champion that you want us to look through, leave it down in the comments, let us know, and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching the video. If you have any questions, let us know down in the comments, and as always, stay safe and I'll see you all next time. Peace.